So I got some questions saying some of my subscribers were looking at um, or wanted to look at a video of my actual system. So I'm just doing this video again as an update as to what the system actually is, what I used, and pretty much just a run through of it. So these are 20-gallon tanks. I divided them into 3 equal parts, and I got black plexiglass. It's matte, so that way they can't see each other. They don't get distracted really against. They're not seeing each other or trying to fight each other. So that's the purpose of the pure black. Um, what I got was simple, just bulkheads. Here's a 1 inch. Here's a ½ inch. It's a little hard to see because of the lighting on top. But as you can see, I'm gonna eventually put little spray bars, but for now it's just releases the water. So what I essentially did was I got a piece of plywood and I cut it to the size of the tank. I made it pretty thick because once you start trying to cut the glass, it gets really wet. The wood absorbs the water, it starts to bend. So you gotta do it kind of like all in one shot. But I try to make it as thick as possible. That way I had time for drilling. Each hole took about 3 minutes. So you figure there's 6 holes of 1 inch and then 6 holes of the top one. So it took a good about 45 minutes to do everything. Essentially what I bought first was this, what's called a multi-angle drill guide. Basically, you nail this down to whatever you're gonna cut. That way it's not moving. You attach your drill to this little lever part over here, and you put your bit right here. And then there's springs to control how deep it goes, or if you want a little bit of resistance. So what I did was I removed the springs and I put what's called a diamond bit. I'll have a little diamond bit right here. So these are diamond bits. As you can see, they kind of sparkle. This feels like rough sand paper pretty much, and it's all along the edge. And so I attached this part right here, and I made a hole of where this would actually kind of go through, because I didn't want this cutting through the wood, just only through the glass. So I kind of made a hole of where it was going. It's back. And I nailed it down, and then I used the drill guide basically with the tank on its side. I just, since it made it the cut for this square, it just sat perfectly there. And then I ran the hose and drilled the tank because you need water to cool down the friction from the diamond bit going through the glass. So that way, and I also did the template because I didn't want to start drilling and then my hand shakes a little bit, whatever, and messes it up. And then I mix the next hole, it's maybe 5 centimeters too high or too low, or not in the wrong spot. And then I would have different water lines. So that kind of was, I knew that was going to bother me. So that's why I took the time to make, again, a template. That way everybody was in the same hole spot, and the top and the side, because I cut the PVC pipes exact size. So that's why they all exactly line up perfectly. So again, that just kind of, I knew that was going to bother me in the long run. So I just took the time to do it instead of pretty much half-assing it. I saw a lot of videos where people try to do it their own way, like holding it, and it just starts to, skit around the glass, scratches it up, all that stuff. So I wanted to avoid all that. As far as plumbing, what I did was I put a 1-inch bulkhead for the drain and a ½ inch for the return. I did mostly the tubing, because at least the tubing I could always cut just one individual, versus if I glued all the PVC, I feel like it'd be kind of like a pain if you ever ran into a leak or something, having to replace and cut out the PVC and cement it back and try to get it exact size. I wanted to kind of avoid all that, so like I said, all you see is just that's PVC, and then it connects to a tube that it drains down. So obviously the drain part, it couldn't be straight. So as you can see here, the drain is at an angle. It kind of goes at a little slope, with this being the tallest. So meaning when it's draining, it's at, instead of a straight line, it's at an angle. So that way it trickles down the line instead of kind of getting jammed. So you can kind of see that here, where the height difference, like especially here compared to that one, which is all the way high. So it just trickles down into some bio balls. Then I've got some padding. I decided I was gonna do a really good protein skimmer. Just put out the money for a good skimmer and not like try to get a bad skimmer that isn't strong enough. So the whole system is 60 gallons, but I got a Reef Octopus rated for 120. I just knew I'm crazy overfeeding these fish. I feed them 4 times a day. You know, pellets, flake food, frozen food, LRS, mysis, brine. I feed them all types of food. So I knew I needed a skimmer that's gonna be, you know, doing a lot of work. And I really don't like the Coral Life one, so I got the Reef Octopus 110, just to pretty much be a crazy workhorse. Then, you know, I really like ChemiPure as a phosphate kind of clarity carbon water. I mean, you know, keeping the water clear. I really like ChemiPure Blue, and it also adds for phosphates, and I think it's called nitrogen. The little the little white speckle. I forget what it's called, but it's Purigen. There you go. Purigen is in it too, which is really good for the water and clarity. So then it goes into a 32 Hyperflow, which then goes into my check bell, which right here it splits into other ball valves. So you can see each tank has its own ball valve. And the ball valves are not always all the fish lay on the tile. Like here, like you can see the Picasso's laid on the tile, which is really good because then I can take the tile out. But sometimes, like I noticed these guys here, they like to lay on the wall sometimes, and so does the giant maroon with the nugget. Sometimes they lay on the wall. So obviously I needed a way to be able to turn off the water in case I had to use like the trap that I use in all the videos to catch the fish. So you know, I needed a way to turn off the water, that way I can stick the trap in and it doesn't affect all the other tanks. And that's pretty much as far as the system. You know, I'm still in the process of everything. You know, I gotta move that eventually to the back, but I don't want to do it until I make that back outlet, like one of those pool outlets with the cover in case of spillage. And the last tank, it's empty now because I eventually am going to add a 6 pair in there. I just haven't decided on which I want, only because I want all the guys to start breeding. So I kind of know a mixture of clowns that I have, but more than likely it'll probably be a black and white pair, just because black and whites are really easy to sell. Your bread and butter is always going to be your regulars and your black and whites. You know, nobody's going to buy 100 Picasso's at $30-$40 each, but they'll buy 100 regular clowns at $3, $4 each. It's a easier sell that way versus trying to sell again in bulk your designers. Um, so again, these guys pretty much fund everything I need as far as supplies. Like here, my rods, my Instant Ocean 250 boxes, gallon boxes that I get. Pretty much all that you've seen here and me growing over time has just been from these guys. So the top row are my fry tanks. As you can see, they're all painted black on all sides except the front. They've got their what's it called? The sponge filters. Here is where I'm gonna put the air pumps all connected to here. Lights. Gonna have all this rolling pretty soon. But I've only got right now the Picasso's laying. Sometimes all the guys, when you move your clowns, sometimes it takes 2 to 3 months for them to start reproducing again. The Picassos have been my fastest, so they're the ones I'm gonna pretty much pay attention to. I did this whole system over the course of like 2 months, just buying every little thing I needed offline, gluing all the slabs, the dividers in the system, drilling, egg crate, plumbing, building the stand. Everything took a good about less than 2 months. I didn't want to rush into anything. I wanted to make sure everything was nice and dry and waterproof, and I wasn't leaking or anything like that. So again, this took process for me to do. So obviously not all the clowns are going to be laying right now. But surprisingly, the Picasso started like a week after the move. And you can see this is their second nest already. So it's a good nest size. The first nest, it only came out to like 20 eggs after, when hatch night. So I didn't really bother with them, only because out of 20 I might have gotten maybe 5 or 10, who knows. So I would have wasted a lot of time and effort when I could have been doing it towards other stuff. So this is the old system that you've seen in all my videos, little 2x4s. It wasn't that big, and I had the BioCube next to it. I don't have the BioCube anymore. I got rid of it, and this is gonna be pretty much my grow out system. I'm gonna have tanks on all 3 rows. I bought these suction cup holders, and you can put a piece of plexiglass in between, but for now I just have these little canvas things you get from Michaels, and you put the yarn through them. So it's just as easy as a separator as I can make and I could think of. But as you can see here, the only clowns I have left. I'm still using the same shelf up here just for my foods, prime, ammonia pad. Added a calendar so I know when Picasso's laid, or like this June 6th will be hatch night for the clutch that you see right here. But like I said, I was pretty happy with how the system came out. I just have to do minor tweaks, maybe add a door here. My nephew does come a lot, and I'm just afraid of him putting his hand in the water, messing anything up. One is 5 and one is a little bit over 1. So, the 1-year-old kind of scares me the most, since they like to kind of play in this area here. Other than that, this is pretty much a system. I'll kind of highlight each clown. You've got the Wyoming whites. We've got the gold stripe, gold nugget. They make gold nuggets, gold stripes, and gold flakes. We've got the black ice snowflakes. They'll make snowflakes, black ice snowflakes, mochas. What else? I think there's a rare chance of black and whites. I'm not sure on those. Again, I haven't gotten those to lay yet. Then you got your Bollies. Picassos will always make platinums, Picassos. and regular True Perks. But the difference between Balis and regular Picassos is Balis have the richer black, and it's more predominant in the when they're developing with the black, versus Picassos like take a while to develop the black. So that's a nice like little thing to get them sold faster. And then the ones that you kind of followed me through my journey are these guys, which is the Photon with the regular. But usually all the babies come out like Photons, so they're a good sell because they're cheap. We get nice rich black, and they're not like the kind of pale orange ones you see that are tank bred. So these all have nice color to them, and all of them have nice blue on them, as you can see. Like the Black Eye Snowflakes have blue, Picassos have blue, the Gold Nugget has a little blue on its head, and the Wyomings have blue too. So I selected these fish as far as color, markings, and they've been doing good. I do want to say I am going to start making this a business with my brother. We did decide on a name, Aquology, kind of like aquaology, but the study of water is technically hydrology, but I just wanted something that was easy. Aquology had a nice ring to it. So if I refer to Aquology, that's just the company name we decided on. I want to start rolling out tons of clowns, doing the license to become a hatchery and all that stuff. So if you guys really like this page, I'm gonna keep updating it with clowns and developing, and now my whole new system, you'll see eventually it'll be finished and ready to go, like perfect. If you guys can just subscribe to the channel, let your friends know, like, hey, they're interested in saltwater and clowns and all that stuff, that I do a channel dedicated to just breeding and kind of all the work that goes through it. So I am gonna put in the links below, the link to the Facebook for Aquology, the Instagram, anything with the Aquology name. So if you guys could follow that, like that, I'd really appreciate it. It helps me get my name out a little bit, and I try to be a really nice guy, and I give as much information as I can. I eventually do want to do something for my subscribers and followers, giveaway of some sort. Maybe I'm thinking I'll breed one of these Balis out, and send a nice pair to somebody. I just kind of like a thank you for watching the channel. As more videos come out, and hopefully the next video will be them breeding and already in the hatchery, growing out. I want to do something like that for my subscribers. So if you guys can please give a like, subscribe to my YouTube, like the Facebook group Aquology, follow us on Instagram, and eventually I'll do a giveaway to one of my subscribers or somebody who likes the page, and I'll give more details for that. So again, I just want to thank everybody, and thanks for sticking with me in this channel, and keep up the videos for everybody. You ever have any questions, I try to address the questions in the next video. So I read all my comments, and I try to reply to everybody. So just drop a comment, or you see a picture on Instagram, give me a comment, give me a shout out, or I'll give you a shout out in the next video. Alright guys, have a good day, man.